Hello, welcome to our devotional time here at Temple Baptist Church. We're going to be in 1 John chapter 3 this morning. I want to just share a little bit of what John has to say here. Of course, John is sometimes referred to as the apostle of love, and there's the Gospels that bear his name, focus on the topic of love, and so. In chapter 3 and beginning with verse 11, for this is the message that you've heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Not as Cain, who was wicked one and murdered his brother. And why did he murder him? Because his works were evil and his brother's righteous. Do not marvel, my brethren, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death to the life because we love the brother. He that does not love his brother abides in death. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and you know that no murderer have life abiding in him. And by this we know love, because he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But whosoever has the world's goods and see his brother in need and shutteth up his heart from him, how does he love God? How does God's love abide in him? My little children, let us not love in word and tongue, but in deed and in truth. I think that right there is the key to everything. I probably could stop right there and just say, if we love if we're just loving in word and tongue, we're not really loving, but in deed and in truth. I read the story about a young boy that wanted to climb the Alpine mountains in Switzerland, and he participated in this goal. It occupied most of his time. And finally, when he set out for the summit, things didn't go as planned. Partway up the slopes, a teammate became sick, and he seemed sick, and the boy decided to stay behind and help him instead of achieving his goals. Now, this story was read in a classroom setting, and a teacher asked, was the main character a failure because he didn't climb the mountain? Of course, one student said yes, he was, because that was in his DNA to fail. But another child disagreed, another boy disagreed. He said that the boy was not a failure because he gave up something important to him to help someone else. Can we learn from that? When we set aside our plans and care for others instead, we're acting like Jesus, aren't we? That's what Jesus would do. Jesus sacrificed. He didn't have a home. He didn't have a reliable income. He wasn't socially accepted to travel, but he shared God's truth, and ultimately he gave up his life for us from sin and showed us God's love. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Earthly success is a lot different from success in God's eyes. I think he values the compassion that moves us to maybe rescue the disadvantaged, the hurting people. He approves the project with God's help. We can all align our values and his to devote ourselves to loving him and others, which is that is the most achievement, a significant achievement that we can achieve, is to love God and love others. Sacrificially out of love for someone in need. If you want to succeed, sacrifice things for God. I'm not trying to emphasize that too much this morning, but I know that following God and love and all of that is the thing to do. My little children, let us not love in word or in tongue, but in deed and in truth. By this we know that we are of the truth, and shall assure our hearts before him. And so if we, don't just love in word, don't say I love you, but show some compassion and show some deeds of love. We invite you to our services here at Temple. You can come on Sunday mornings at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. if you're an early riser. You can come for Sunday school at 9 o'clock, and then we have our second worship at 10. And then Sunday night we meet at 6 o'clock, and on Wednesdays at 7. We would love to have you at any and all of those services, and we will hope to see you. May God bless you is our prayer.